I just want to be prepared. I just want to be prepared. This will save your life next week. What's happening next week? I don't know. But guess what? I won't need to know. I'll be prepared. And so will you. All right. We're reacting to it. We're going to see. I don't know what this is. But whenever I see this type of style, I know I'm in for some cool info. I don't know. It's in trending. I got to react to it until y'all like the video and shit. Like, come on, bro. Come on. All right. We in.
Let's save your life today.
Okay.
Not long term, today.
Okay.
By specifically finding out what's most likely to kill you next week so you can actually avoid it.
Okay.
First, let's assume that 3 million people will watch this video.
I mean, what's most likely to kill me next week is probably my self-esteem, right? Is that what it is? My self-esteem? Am I blurry, bro? There we go.
And that you're all among our typical viewers. You're between the ages of 15 and 35 and you're living in Western countries. We based this video on statistics specifically for your demographic and our own estimates.
Okay.
They're not perfect, but roughly correct.
Okay.
Don't worry, we might also save your life if you're older or live somewhere else. Okay, now let's gather all 3 million of you in 40 packed football stadiums.
Okay.
Look around. Most of you are teens and young adults. So much potential. Unfortunately, by the end of next week, 58 of you watching right now will not be alive anymore.
I'm scared. A 52,000 chance. Oh, wait, it's backwards. My fault. 1 sec, chat. Huh? So I have a 1.9 to the E -5 chance? Why didn't you guys tell me? Bro, it's over, man. I gotta call my mom and shit.
3,000 of you will sadly have passed in a year. That's 1 in 1,000. Or not. Today, we will save you.
1 in 1,000 people. I'm actually tweaking. Like, is this supposed to show me how I'm gonna live or how I'm gonna die?
Your life by looking at the avoidable ways you might die. We'll not cover long-term things like diseases because we want to prevent your death next week. Your life consists of millions of micro-decisions, and some of you are on a path that will end soon.
Bro, and one of the decisions was to watch this, and it was a bad decision.
Can we guide you down a different path? Humans are incredibly bad at judging the real risks of life. Bad things happen to people all the time because there are so many of us. And since the news focuses so much on freak accidents, we have a completely distorted picture of what actually poses a danger to us. For accidents, we have a completely distorted picture.
Florida man attacked during selfie with a squirrel. A pretzel?
And since the news focuses so much on freak accidents,
Bavarian man trips over pretzel. 14 dead.
we have a completely...
Bro, I just can't go near the pretzel maker. Pretzel maker, planes, and squirrels. That's what we got so far, chat.
distorted picture of what actually poses a danger to us. For example, the chance any of you are going to die in a terror attack is below 0.0002%.
Yes.
There are super risky activities that are clearly insanely dangerous, like wingsuit flying. If all 3 million of you were to practice this sport, about 285 of you would die just next week. Then there are things that are pretty
That's
dangerous.
fine. I won't do that.
If all of you rode a motorcycle, 35 of you would not survive next week.
I've been thinking about getting my motorcycle license, but luckily it's the fall, so I'm not gonna get it till next spring. So we got at least a year, chat. At least a year.
If you don't want this kind of risk in your life, well, don't do these things. It turns out what's most likely to kill you next week are things that feel safe, that you do all the time and are routine, things you may even be really good at. This is what we'll prevent.
Okay.
By far the most dangerous thing you're currently doing is driving. 8 of you will die in a car crash just next week.
Okay, 8 out of 3 million. I
416
got
of
it.
you over the next year. Most
416 in the next year out of the 3 million. That's okay. We still have good odds. And I'm a bit of a hermit. I'm not a normal person. So maybe these things won't be exactly on par with my life of living. Now I drive, but is everything going to be on there?
mostly because most of you are not aware what driving really is.
Yeah.
You're zooming through the world in a metal torpedo at the speed of a cheetah or faster. In an average car that weighs
Faster.
1.5 tons at roughly 60 kilometers an hour or 40 miles an hour, you have the mechanical energy of a piano dropped from the top of the Statue of Liberty. If you crash, this energy is released into your car and, more importantly, your body.
But I don't get it. Like, that's the issue with people these days. They just crash. Just don't crash. I don't get it. Just don't crash. It isn't that hard, man. You look at the road, and then if something comes and you brake, man, there's brakes. There's a brake. There's multiple. There's a regular brake. You can throw it in neutral and it won't go in drive anymore. And then also there's the e-brake. Don't get in a crash. That one's solved. I don't know why everybody's tweaking. That one's already solved for me.
30% of deadly car accidents are caused by speeding, mostly because you overestimate yourself.
Yeah, no shit. He hit a rock, bro. Where you going? There's not even a road, man. How you get over there? Look at these. How you get there? How we get there? That doesn't even make sense.
Will kill 2 of you next week. It's
Chill.
pretty straightforward. If you go fast, you have less time to react and only notice the danger when it's too late.
Hey, yeah, I know it might be morbid, bro, but I ain't gonna lie.
Go fast, you have less time
I
to
can't
react
lie.
and only notice.
This doesn't look like I'm dying. Okay? This looks like I'm behind the wheel. And some dumbass kid came out in the road. Do I feel bad? 3-lane highway running after a ball. All I'm saying, there's natural selection. All I'm saying is that isn't me, bro.
Notice the danger when it's too late. A lot of you watching tend to go the speed
Crazy.
limit regularly, which
Yep.
saves very little time. If your destination is 20 minutes away at 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour,
Okay, is this
driving
actually gonna
50
be
kilometers an
shitting
hour
on my
or
driving the
10
whole
miles
time,
an
bro?
hour faster will
Like,
save less than
hello?
3 minutes. But your probability of a deadly crash increases by 60%. So
And my probability of getting in trouble with my boss for being late is 100%. Deadly crash 60. Mad boss 100. Hey, I'm taking that 40% to the bank, because that 40%, what's the worst gonna happen? Get in a crash, or your boss is mad. Which one you got to deal with more? Your boss gets mad. You got at least 2 years to get back up to the trust of your boss. You get in a crash. I mean, if you're late, your boss is gonna be pissed. You get in a crash. Well, you got 6 months in a cast. Foolproof. It's not life-saving advice, by the way. Just to let you
2
know.
of you may survive next week if you just tone down your speeding. This alone would eliminate the most dangerous activity in your life.
Okay.
Isn't
Got
this
it.
wild? A close second is drinking alcohol and driving, causing 25.
Now, see, Chad, this is where we're getting good. I don't drink. I don't remember the last time I had any alcohol or drugs. Nothing. I'm clean. So I'm good. That's
crashes.
2 for 2.
In the next
2
week,
for 2.
this will also kill 2 of you.
Uh-huh.
You don't even need to feel drunk. You just have to have consumed enough to slow your reaction time. Even if you still feel completely in control, chances are high that you're not. Aside from being extremely illegal, it's one of the most reckless and dangerous things too many people do regularly.
Do not drink and drive.
And it's easy. One of the most reckless and dangerous things too many people do regularly. And it's easy to avoid. Just don't do it, ever. Taking a cab after that work event next week, even if you only had 2 drinks, might save your life. Just because you were distracted while driving, one of you will die next week. Maybe because you were eating or fumbling with the radio, but
I mean, you're a bit late to the party, bud. Little late to the party there.
let's be real, probably because you were looking at your phone. If you drive at 60 kilometers an hour or 40 miles an hour and check your phone for just a moment, you've now crossed an entire football field, completely blind. Stop doing this and you might survive next week.
Don't crash.
Lastly, we want to have an especially frank word with the 3 of you that will die because you didn't wear a seatbelt. What an incredibly stupid way to die young.
I've been joking the whole time. Wear your seatbelt. Wear your seatbelt. Not worth it.
Way more of you will get into a car crash and be injured for all the same reasons. And of course, often the victims of crashes are not to blame at all, and many of you watching right now will end up hurting someone else. But you now know how to reduce the chances of this happening massively.
Okay, so
Let's
we're getting
move on
away.
to other deadly things that you can easily
I'm
avoid.
sick of the driving stuff.
26 of you will die by falling, or more precisely by hitting the ground in the next year. Which means one of you will die every...
Chat, I'm 3 for 3. I literally did fall protection and fall rest yesterday. I did the course yesterday. 3 for 3, man.
2 weeks.
3 for 3.
You'd think the danger of height
we're gonna
was
have
not
react videos next week. How you guys like it? Let's go.
as big of a deal, but it is. Going up ladders, working on scaffolding or on a roof, and going hiking in nature is normal.
Yep.
But falling from a height of just 2...
Not get ahead of ourselves here. Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Not everyone around here is hiking, all right? Don't get a gut like mine. And be as pale like me if you go hiking. Okay? You don't hike. I'll walk to my car, but not everybody around here is hiking. Okay?
2 meters has about the same mechanical energy as a bowling ball dropped from a 7-story building. You probably wouldn't want to be hit by it, and it only gets worse the higher you go. For a fall from 5 meters, the height of a large ladder, the equivalent would be the energy of a bowling ball dropped from a 19-story building. But even just falling over can easily be fatal because your head is all the way at the top of your body. Another surprising...
Oh, I'm telling you, gotta watch out, man. Especially when you're around concrete. I'm gonna be real for a second. Me and the boys having a boys' night. Went to the skate park. I was on a skateboard. 2 and 2, baby. Fell over. You know, I went up the quarter pipe. Trying to impress the bitches. Didn't impress the bitches. I came back down, bang, smack right on the back of the head. Wasn't wearing a helmet. I'm all right, but probably why I am the way I am.
The dangerous thing is water. One of you will drown next week.
I don't swim. I also don't swim. Bro, we're 4 for 4. I'm gonna let this shit play.
Being in and around water is fun and doesn't seem to be a big deal, mainly for 3 reasons. You'll underestimate how dangerous a body of water is and be taken by strong currents or riptides.
Nope,
You'll
don't swim.
overestimate your swimming abilities. You're most likely a much worse swimmer than you think. Or, also sadly common, you'll go into the water drunk, especially dangerous because you're...
Okay, not the drunk part. The reason I do not swim or dive or jump when I was in grade 10, like sophomore or whatever that's called for you guys, junior. Anyway, I was camping at a trailer park, obviously, and RV park, and there was a little wharf, and I was diving off it constantly, diving. It didn't like it was like whatever. Anyway, one of the times it just didn't seem like it was very deep. I smacked my head off a rock and split it open very badly. Like you can still see the scar. I don't know if you can see it just then, but really bad, bunch of stitches right to the skull. So I will say, don't dive into unknown water.
You're more reckless and even
That's
more
not a
likely
good
to be
idea.
overwhelmed by a cold shock or hypothermia. Harmless situations around water turn deadly so quickly that in the US, drowning is the second most common cause of death by accident for kids, after, you may have guessed it, car crashes.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. I didn't realize that. Wow. That's actually crazy.
So if you're going for a swim next week,
actually
keep
crazy,
this
chat.
in mind. Make sure that the water is safe, assume you are at best a mediocre swimmer, and you won't die.
Yeah, make sure the water's safe.
Also,
Okay?
for the love of God, be careful on cruise ships. If you go overboard, you have a 60%
If you go overboard on a cruise ship, I'm just going to say it's natural selection.
chance of dying.
It's just natural
Let's move
selection.
on to the thing that will kill the most people watching this video. This one is extremely sad and very delicate
Okay.
because sensationalist public discussion can make it worse.
Okay.
It's harming yourself. Statistically,
Oh, okay.
about 10 of you could die this way next week. There's something that you might not be aware of that might save your life. The majority of these deaths happen in crisis situations,
Yeah.
usually triggered by traumatic events and extraordinary circumstances that
Disclaimer that there's going to be triggering stuff here. I'm assuming it's going to go into more of the suicidal stuff. Yeah, if you ever need assistance, there's crisis lines. If you ever need help, the 1-800 hotline. There are people there. There are always people there. There are people that love you. There's always a better way. There's always a better way. Always. All joking aside, always a better way. Your life is worth living. I guarantee you. And I promise the darkest and deepest shitty day you've ever had, I promise it gets better. I promise. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be 3 years from now, but it will. I truly promise that it will get better. I've seen people come from very dark places and they're doing incredible things. Now, your life is worth living. And if you need help, there are plenty of outlets, especially here in Canada. I can't speak for the States. Mental health crisis line, 1-800 hotline. There's a lot of help, and your family and friends are there. I promise. You may think it's embarrassing or annoying to them or an inconvenience. I promise it's better than the outcome. I promise.
overwhelm people and undermine their coping strategies. Studies show that suicide rarely occurs out of the blue.
Yeah.
There are warning signs, and often suicidal thoughts and feelings
Yep.
can be mastered by getting professional help, for example from a crisis intervention center.
Yeah.
Most people who survive an attempt don't try again and end up being very glad that they did survive. It was
Yeah.
just way too much for them, and they felt desperate and as if there was no way out.
Yeah.
It would be
And if
so-
you've never felt like that, you wouldn't truly understand. But the best you can do is try to, or at least fake it. Like, at least fake it. Because, like, I promise you, like, these people feel like that. Like, it's just like if you got a bad stomach, you feel like you're going to throw up, you don't have a choice. You're going to throw up. Like, you feel like you're going to throw up. These people truly feel like this, and they don't have a choice. Like, they don't have, unless they get help, they feel like they don't have a choice.
So nice if someone watching this who's in a bad spot decides to get help. You matter, you really
Yeah.
do, and the world
Exactly.
is better with you in it.
I promise
Please
you it
stay
is.
with us. If you currently feel overwhelmed by life, seeking help is not weakness, it's strength.
Not
We've
at
put some
all.
resources for you in the video description.
Listen, getting help and asking for help and just reaching out, bro, just comment on this video or comment on their video or comment on your favorite streamers or YouTubers videos. Get into the community. I promise you there's someone out there that cares about you. Like, bro, I promise it's better. Like, it is. So, if you trust anything I've ever said in any of my videos, just please listen to this. Your life is worth living. It may not seem like it. It may not be it. It may truly be goddamn shitty. It may truly feel like it's not worth it. And you know what? Maybe it's not. But that doesn't mean you get to give up. You don't get to give up. You don't get to make your family feel like shit. You don't get to make your friends feel like shit. You don't get to give up. You were put on this earth and you fulfill what you need to do. You don't get to give up. You keep going because it's worth it. It's worth it. It will get better. And then guess what? What you have to do right now, if you're feeling like that, 5 years down the line, do it for them. Do it for your 35-year-old self. If you're 17, if you're 22, if you're 44, do it for the 5 years in the future. Listen, the 5 years in the future, like 35 or shit. Well, I'm 28. So 33-year-old me is banking on the past me, which is the present me, to be the best I can and to get through it. All right? I promise it's better. You got this.
This also means another thing. If you have someone in your life going through a crisis, withdrawing, expressing hopelessness,
Reach
or
out.
talking about this topic, even jokingly,
Reach out.
take it seriously.
It's extremely exhausting as well for the other person. I get that. I get that. It might be exhausting for you to deal with someone that is going through the motions, right? It's exhausting for a lot of people. Please don't give up on them. Or at least do everything you can and set them up in a way that you can back off. You really, truly need to help them. If they're reaching out, especially.
Show them that they're loved and important. You personally could save a life, maybe next week already. You might never know, but worst case, you've been a true friend.
Yep.
Now for the final thing, and to be honest, this will not save your life
This
next
video
week,
went crazy.
but maybe this year. Cancer is sadly a real risk even for your age group and will kill 5 of you next week. The most common being thyroid, breast and testicular cancer.
Yep.
The author of this video had cancer
due
at the age of
diligence.
32. If he'd been aware of this risk and went to regular checkups, this could have been entirely avoided.
Yep.
So this is also a personal heartfelt recommendation. We collected a few resources about screenings and self-checkups in our sources for you. Check them out.
Nice.
At least one type of cancer is almost entirely avoidable. Melanoma or
Yep.
skin cancer. You might be
Sunblock, baby.
surprised how deadly this is, but as a great philosopher said, the
Sunblock,
sun
baby.
is a deadly laser. It's burning your skin with the energy released from trillions of tons of plasma. The solution couldn't be simpler. Use sunscreen. It's
Sunscreen,
been
baby.
a while or you've been in the water. Cool. Apply it again. About 9 of you will die of melanoma in the next year, so sunscreen might save your life. Okay, let's wrap up. Just by being more aware and modifying your behavior a little bit, you personally could survive next week. Dozens of all of you watching right now.
Okay, that's a pretty good video. I was trolling the whole time until it got serious. I am serious. There are going to be a bunch of links down below to mental health crisis, mental health help. This is a very important video. I didn't realize what it was, but I see why it's number 3 on trending. Yeah, existential dread, but 58 of you won't be alive next week. Maybe a whole kind of new dread. Yeah, no way, bro. Went from talking about self-harm to sun this deadly laser. It's very, very odd, but it is super real. Anyway, I'm not gonna do my super joking outro this time. It doesn't feel fitting. But anyway, go check it out. It's all going to be in the description. And also if you need, any assistance, hey, just comment on the video and be like, yo, looking for a community. We take people with open arms, man. We're an open community. That's it. I think we got some of the best people here in the comments, and hopefully the chat soon. Yeah, anyway, no joking outro. I appreciate y'all for watching. I know it's a bit longer of a video, but now I'm rambling, so goodbye. Bye.